You're about to watch my interview with a brilliant artist who will tell us why creativity is vital for our business success. You wouldn't guess that creativity actually can improve your revenue stream, the way how you approach problem solving, and how you serve your client. And it will also impact your overall well-being. Listen to our interview and leave your comments. Are you creative? Have you used creativity in your business? Or if you have any questions to me or Isabel, put them below. Enjoy. Today, we are going to have a conversation with lovely Isabel, and the focus on this interview is going to be around creativity. Most importantly, why creativity is vital for entrepreneurs. And I think sometimes we focus on numbers. I'm numbers fanatic, right? Numbers, productivity, and client attraction. And creativity as such seems like a luxury, something that we will do when we retire, when we have more time. And I invited Isabel today to change my perspective and also maybe yours if you think that creativity, painting is something that we do in our free time and not as a business tool. So Isabel, over to you. Can you tell us what you do? Then we will talk about creativity in more details as a vital business tool.
Sure. Thank you, Inga. So I'm Isa Dor. I'm an artist and an art educator, and I help women reconnect with their creative energy so that they can enjoy all things in life, big and small, and bring more beauty to their world while they grow with passion. And that is my mission in life. And that's what I'm doing here in Brussels, where I teach in-person classes to women of all backgrounds most of them have never done anything artistic before.
Lovely. Before we dive into the 3 reasons why creativity is vital, let's demystify the belief that I had all my childhood. And while preparing to this interview, I was contemplating, why did I believe in that particular statement that I'm not artistic? I never considered myself artistic or even creative.
Yeah, I hear so many stories like that of people whose creativity has been like pushed in the background. And it's either because of stories that you've heard when you were a child or that you've been told, or because one day at school you drew outside the lines and that wasn't good, so you just decided to not draw anymore. And we can go on and on with like, where does that come from? But also because when you grow and you start working or you start your own business, you kind of dive into a world where you have to do all the things, being the one that creates the value, that creates the content, that's the accountant, the bookkeeper, the salesperson, everything. And so you just enter a world where it's full of to-dos and full of, responsibility. And that's a way that we leave our childhood behind to face the adulthood, where creativity actually is basically something that is linked to our inner child. And that's why I teach people to do that. How can you reconnect to that space when you were a child and you weren't afraid of, am I going to be good? Is this going to be a failure? Am I going to spoil or waste my pains? Like when a child decides that he's going to walk, he just walks. And then if he falls, he just get up and do it again. And most of all, it's because it creates such a space of fun that you just want to do more. And that's what I'm teaching in my classes through the idea of letting go of judgment and letting go of your fear of failure.
So what I'm hearing, which we will come to reason number one, is to reconnect to your inner child.
Totally. Because that's from that space, when you are in that space and you don't think about anything else, because your mind is focused on what you are doing and not focused on the end result. When we are adults and working, we want to check all the boxes of our to-do list. That's done, that's done, that's done. And we tend to forget that the process is also joyful and enjoyable. And if we reconnect to that energy when we were a child and just focusing on, I'm doing this because I'm happy doing it, then you discover that actually your mind is kind of offloading everything that worries you, and you're just focusing on the present moment. So it's a very mindful activity, so to speak, and it provides you with, of course, a relaxation, but also a lasting, deeper effect of being in the right place, so to speak.
And coming back to the childlike attitude, I think a lot of entrepreneurs are stopped by this fear of being judged, by fear of making mistake, or even like what will happen if I fail. As you mentioned, when a child tries to take first steps, they don't always analyze like, oh, I've just fell, means I'm not going to walk ever again. But how many times when we have our live stream where we forgot what we are going to say, and we say to ourselves, I'm never going to do this live stream, or I'm never going to do an ad because I burned down with my attempt. It seems that creativity is not something that important for our business, but as we've just discovered, reconnecting with our inner child allows us to take risk, be curious about what's possible in your business, and as a result, serving more to our client. You mentioned something about offloading our mind and all the to-do lists. And recently, I have developed a new passion for checklists because, well, it also helps to stay organized. But when you are in the checklist mode, you are focused on this result in order to tick all the boxes. So when we bring creativity here, why it is important? So just to reinstate that idea, why it's important to offload our mind, to focus on the process rather than the result.
Yeah, well, I'm guilty of having checklists as well, because as you say, it keeps us organized. Apart from the fact that when you are in a creative activity, you indeed take a deep dive into a joyful activity that offloads your mind, it also opens up the right side of your brain. And you know that the right side of our brains is the one that is creative, intuitive, emotional, and it gives us access to a whole new world of possibilities, which means that in turn, let's say that you spend 10 minutes each day on whatever creativity is for you. Well, you will see that with that kind of habit, you will be more productive. You will be able to solve problems more easily. You will be able to think out of the box. You will get new ideas. You will learn to express yourself visually in ways that you didn't think were possible before. And I think that all those new skills are really something very powerful for us creatives, but especially if you are an entrepreneur, because then it kind of multiplies your superpowers, right? I think that creativity is a superpower, and people don't know they have it, as I said, but it's just a question of, getting that spark again. This is where I'm helping people to do that.
And you've just mentioned new skills. So actually, when we learn to paint, right, or create something with colors, with paints, it is working on a new skill creation. And you've just mentioned because it helps us to develop new neural pathways.
Yeah.
New neural pathways. And it's important for our brain longevity. It's not just for our business, but our business can't exist without us. So it's kind of taking care of ourselves as well, our mental health. And I think it's also important to be able to switch off in order to do all this productivity detox, so to speak, because our soul needs a break. And now I know, because we tend to fight for our old ways. And these stories that might come up for many people: I'm not good at painting. I'm not good at using any different media types. And when I hear mixed media, for me, when I heard it for the first time, it meant nothing. I know that you have a solution to all of aspects that we mention. Within an hour or so, people can reconnect with the inner child, learning new skills, offloading the mind, having a possibility to have like this creative break in order to enable our inner hidden superpowers. Can you tell more about that opportunity?
Yeah, I'm happy you mentioned that. People often come to me and saying, "Oh, you're doing mixed media. I love your work on Instagram." And they say, "I wish I could do that, but I'm not that creative." And then I say, "Well, how do you know you're not creative?" "Oh, well, I tried, but then it was just it was terrible, ugly." And of course, when you kind of compare yourself to what you see on Instagram, to all the tutorials that you see on YouTube, you get discouraged even before you even started. And if you don't know what mixed media is, it's just making an artwork out of combining different techniques and different materials. It's just as simple as that. And the word is a bit fancy, but the activity is just so easy and so fun. You can just do that from your home. And that's why I just came up with this masterclass I'm teaching next week, a full hour of fun and easy way to approach mixed media for you to experience the joy of just letting go, of being like a child again. And because mixed media doesn't have to be complicated, and all what I'm going to use are stuff that you either have at home or just buy a super simple kit at the art supply store without, being overwhelmed by the range of supplies that you would need to have, or by the jargon that we use as artists in mixed media. That I'm very excited about that masterclass, because I'm going to show 7 fun ways to approach mixed media with really cool things that you wouldn't even think of. Because if you think that you're not creative, you're already limiting yourself in what you are able to do. But if you start with the idea that you just want to spend a fun hour, even if you're just only watching it, but I'm certain that at some point you will feel the urge to try it yourself. As you can tell, I am excited because I'm just putting myself in the idea of next week's masterclass, and I've got everything ready to do it. And I can tell you, I've got some really juicy stuff that you won't want to miss. All people that have taken that course, because I've taught that in my in-person classes, they tell me, well, I had so much grip on decision making, and taking that class helped me just let go. And there are no rules in mixed media, and there are no mistakes. And that's one thing I wanted to add to your question earlier, the fear of failure and the fear of, like when you say you go live and then you just blank out and you don't know what to say. Well, in mixed media, there's no mistakes. Of course, things might not turn out the way you wanted, but I call that happy accidents, because you just discover something. You just discovered that, okay, that's a way that I'm not going to further investigate. Or you're just thinking, oh, I've got a problem here. How am I going to go further and make that beautiful? And of course, beauty is in the viewer's mind's eye, but it is so joyful, and I can't wait to be there.
Excellent. So we will put the link to your free masterclass. By the way, it's free.
It's free. It's free. Yes. It's fun and it's for free.
Absolutely. So we will put the link in the description below. Make sure you check it out. And I have to say, I attended one of the paid classes by Isabel, and it was so liberating and it was fun. And I felt really, really free. And I had this, it's like a spa for your soul when you participate in classes like this.
It is, yeah. Let go and give your inner artist a chance.
Absolutely. So thank you, Isabel, for joining me today. I will put also people who want to follow you on Instagram. I will put all the links to your social media platforms. And yes, let's get creative, let's get childlike and have fun.
I'll wait for you next week.